Welcome back to Play the Game Central, and welcome to our first Call of Duty Ghosts weapon guide. In these guides we'll be taking a more in-depth look at weapons available in the multiplayer. We'll also be taking a look at some good class setups as well, so let's begin. Today we'll be looking at the Peruvian SC-2010 in the assault rifle category. It is one of the default unlocked weapons at level 1 and is an extremely formulaic starting AR. With its moderate to low damage, good handling and low recoil, it feels similar to other starting weapons from previous Call of Duties. A good example would be the M4. As a result, it often leaves something to be desired, and a lot of people drop it immediately expecting to find better guns later in the progression system. Then they'll often return to this weapon for its reliable nature. The same goes for the SC-2010. It has the second lowest damage in the AR category with only 35 damage, dropping off to 20 by 40 meters. This just beating the lowest damage AR, the FAD, by a mere 1 damage out of the barrel. It has the lowest upward recoil in the AR category and has an even spread. Although the SC-2010 isn't considered the lowest recoil weapon, that goes to the Honey Badger. Even though it has a high upward recoil, it has a strong downward pull to counter that high upward recoil. The SC-2010's strongest characteristics are its low recoil and good handling, making it good for medium to long range engagements and good for the slower game types. It has a reasonable reload speed at 3.3 seconds from empty, or 2.8 if there's still ammo left in the weapon. This weapon is stronger for the larger maps and the slower game types, where damage is not so important, but making sure your shots count and hit the target do matter. This is a weapon that you really want to play to its strengths. It works great at long range, it works with great long range optics, and it's good at accurately taking out enemies from the other side of the map. But its greatest weakness is in its close range engagements where you'll be easily outgunned. Don't try to make this gun good in those situations, play it to its strengths and you'll get the most out of this weapon. So let's go ahead and take a look at some class setups. Keep in mind that a lot of it comes down to personal preference. For instance, I prefer going for attachments that only give me a statistical benefit. So this first setup we'll be looking at is one that will be more in my style because I don't often feel optics are necessary. For perks we've opted for blast shield, ping, quick draw and fully loaded. This weapon works best at range. Maybe you're just holding an objective or a vantage point, it'll often attract enemy grenades and explosives. Blast shield will help protect you from that. Ping will help you locate enemies. Quick draw will help you aim down sight faster, as in this game. The ADS for assault rifles is slightly slower, and fully loaded means you'll have plenty of ammo from the get-go. You won't have to risk your life looking for scavenger packs and getting into engagements which you're likely going to lose. For equipment we've gone for a trophy system and Semtex. An IED and a motion sensor also work very well with this class. Depends what your playstyle is and how you enjoy to play. It's very much a personal choice. The next class setup we're going to take a look at is a bit more interesting and a bit more different. This works incredibly well with clans and if you're playing with a team. So let's take a look at our second setup here. We've gone for a grip and a thermal sight. Because of the low recoil nature of this weapon, it works good at range, and it works good with the longer range optics. We've added the grip to reduce that recoil even more, and a thermal sight that we'll be using in partner with some smoke grenades. So for these perks we've gone for an extra tactical grenade, strong arm so we can throw the grenades further off the grid, fully loaded, and blast shield. Our equipment is smoke grenades and IEDs. The main objective with this class is to take objectives. With strong arm and the 2 smokes, you can throw smoke past the objective and then sit back with your thermal sight and take out any enemy trying to run towards the objective. The reason you want to throw the smoke past the objective so that way if any enemies do get through the smoke, your teammates will still be able to see them and take them out themselves. We can use the IED to protect our flanks, especially for an advantage point. We've also gone for blast shield as you'll likely be attracting a lot of attention. People will try to kill you with grenades and explosives. This works fantastic as a team. You can just put a blanket of smoke down, you can take the objectives the enemy most likely won't have a counter for this. It's very good if you want to zone your enemy, you want to spawn trap them. If you're working with a team, just keep putting smoke down and you'll be able to see through the smoke, you'll be able to take them out. Great for objectives and great for zoning your opponents. And they will most likely not have a counter for this. Moving on, our next class is a high perk setup. Attachments of your choice is personal preference for core game modes. So for our perks, we've gone for takedown, steady aim, ping, fully loaded, blast shield, on the go, and gambler. This is a setup I know Boop likes to use. It's a high perk setup, it makes you feel very strong when you're playing, it works very good in core game modes, and comes with plenty of utility. For my personal favourite setup using this weapon, I understand a lot of people might not like this, but I have a very fast playstyle. I've gone for the grip, the muzzle brake, sleight of hand, stalker, quick draw, fully loaded, and a grenade or a semtex. This class doesn't particularly play to the weapon's strengths, but I myself are all about the handling, fast, quick gunplay. It's the one that works best for me. Give it a try, not everybody will like it though, that is understandable, it lacks a lot of utility. So there we have it, some good core class setups. If you're going for hardcore, stick on the silencer and run with perks like off the grid and dead silence, and go for a silent and heavy utility class setup. Works really good. And that just about rounds it up for the SC-2010. I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time when we'll be covering the Honey Badger.